There we go. We're live now.
Boom. All right. Didn't even give me the signal we were live. There it said it. Now it said we're live.
I thought it was taking a while. I was like, I think he clicked the button, but it's still showing schedule.
Go Habs. We've got the world coming in here. We've got from Winnipeg, Montreal, Belgium. Hello, world.
Hi, Sabrina. Hi, Go Habs. Jordan Wall, Clint Harrison.
Boom. Look at that. Like a maestro. What's this deal? I'm a loser. What are you talking about?
First of all, I didn't say it. You did.
I like that. You're like, hey, I didn't say you're a loser. You're the one that typed that in. Yes, I did. So let's see. Oh, who's that?
Large Woolly Booger, David Belcher.
Or Bugger. I think it's Bugger.
Large Woolly Bugger. Burger.
Booger sounds funnier.
My sister, Jera Lee. Not doing anything this Saturday morning. Uncle Nate drinks whiskey.
Cool.
Anyway, Bart's a loser because he lost last night. Anybody that the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society, I'm doing a blind tasting, blind challenge, blind whiskey SMWS challenge. Had started with 8 YouTube channels. We're down to 2 now. Going pitted against each other to see who's the best blind taster. Bart lost last night to Dan from the Bourbon Junkies. And actually, Bart led the whole series until the last sample and let Dan take the lead.
And he won because the rules for the ABV changed. Boom! He picked up 2 points and he beat me by 1.
Bart just guessed everything was 65% ABV. He thought he was safe.
I did 61, 60, 62, 64. Those were my ABV picks. And there was one that was super low and one that was super high. Yeah, I couldn't, but it wasn't like I tried to make my best guess, but it was brutal. The one that killed me was I flipped one I thought was a space side that was a Highland, and one I thought was a Highland was a space side. There's 2 points. And then that 20-year-old Highland, I would have never, ever guessed it was a 20-year, ever. And I think I even got points for that because I was higher than Dan, if I remember right.
I think you had 11 years and he had 9. So
yeah, that is crazy. So in all honesty, I shouldn't have gotten a point. That was how far away I was from that. So
Dan Swank has a good point, though. He says Bart needed more Isla Peat monsters to win.
Yes. My claim to fame was the A sample where I called it a second fill bourbon hogshead, and it looked like you had slipped me the answer, baby, because it was on the nose. On the nose.
Oh, man, everybody's going to think I gave Bart some tips on this one.
Yeah, there's like no way he did that. No way. And then I lost.
Bart tried to get clues from me, and I'm like, I ain't giving nothing up.
Well, yeah, that's a police technique, is when I would chat him up in the show, that's right in front of everybody. I'd be like, well, you know, this one sure looks like Scott's pulling some trickery with the Oloroso. And I ain't saying nothing. Although that one was an Oloroso. I knew there was an Oloroso, but there was some trickery in there. A double maturation, but both in refilled bourbon butts. I was like, what? Or bourbon?
No, that Highland Park was both bourbon hogsheads, and then the that Craig Ellicky was 2 sherry butts, 2 first fill Oloroso sherry butts.
Yeah, that was craziness.
One was American oak, one was Spanish oak.
Yeah, I don't know how anybody could do that.
We don't hardly go live anymore, and I'm seeing a bunch of names I haven't heard from for a while. Chris Banks, Wildlife.
Canadian Chris wanted to know if I forgot to wax. Well, it's my day off, and so no, I have not waxed. It's a little crazy.
I see Scott Slattery.
So,
a couple names I haven't heard for a while. Drew from Arizona. Pete Head, multicasting. Big Dog.
Yep. Well, Chris Banks, all's well there, Chris. All's well. Lancaster, baby, Lancaster. Hey, yeah, multicasting's in. Multicasting's other channel is going gangbusters.
Is it?
Yeah, it always does in December, though.
Christmas on Crestline?
Christmas on Crestline. That's right. He I don't know. I don't know if I don't know how many subs. He's almost ready to catch us, I think.
Is he really?
Maybe my other channel. Maybe not this one.
Whiskey Advocates Whiskey of the Year. Jack Daniels Bonded.
You're kidding.
Nope.
I didn't even like that one that much. It was too woody.
Was that? No, that was the 10-year. The 10-year was too woody.
You're right. You're right. Whoa.
I think. Yeah. Well, we did that one came out, the triple mash, and then the 10-year.
No, I like Jack Daniels, but I wasn't over the top on most of those, if I remember right.
No, they're good. I do think though the bonded the mash was most unlike Jack Daniels, the triple mash.
Oh, hold on, test it.
The bonded was good, and then the 10-year was literally like number 7, aged a little bit longer. A lot of that charcoal mellowing coming through. But yeah,
yep.
Whiskey of the Year. Right there. I think it's kind of a Crown Royal Northern Harvest Rye moment.
Yes, I would agree. Although that Northern Harvest Rye was good.
Dan Swank is asking, did the Dummies try the Jack Daniels single malt? Just wondering, never even heard or seen the Jack Daniels single malt.
I like it though. I like the idea. Single malts are going to blow up.
Yeah, Mark says the triple mash is way better. I think so too. That triple mash was just really different and unique coming from Jack Daniels.
Yeah, I'm just drinking some of these samples. My favorite sample from last night in the loot where I lost was sample B. And that was the one that had the that was Oloroso. Yeah, the double Oloroso, right?
Yep. 8-year-old exclusive.
Yeah, that one was nice.
And that was the hot one. That was I think that one's 66.7.
Jeez, I shouldn't be drinking it.
I got more.
I'm just saying it's too early for 66.7.
Oh, well, yeah, that too. I stuck with the 50%er.
You're good. I'm going to need whatever the version for 66.7. I'll need the Narcan version for that. Be like, boom.
67.9 was a Worms Ender you're doing right now.
67.9. I think the Narcan version of that is like a box of donuts. That's how you stay alive.
Raster, I see Raster just tuning in. He says, hello, everyone. Cheers.
Raster.
Oh, Dan Swank says the Jack Daniels single malt he thinks is a distillery exclusive. So, it'd be interesting to try.
That would be. Hey, no, thanks for setting that up. That was fun. It was fun to be invited. First thing he said is, I hope you lose, because if you win the whole thing, it'll look shady. I'm like, oh, I'm pretty sure I won't win.
Yeah. I was rooting against Bart, but not. I knew Bart's got a great palate, trust me. But actually, the first round, I did figure Bart would lose, but I just figured that's because he would outthink himself. He would outguess himself on his answers. Bart's intuition is right most of the time. He does pretty good. He's got a good palate, like I say. But I really figured Bart would just outthink himself on the samples, and he didn't.
Nope.
Actually, even so, I mean, you won round 1 and you moved into round 2, and yeah, I'm thinking, I kind of hope Bart loses. Otherwise, people are going to think, the setup is in, like the home field chefs are cooking.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know. I could feel it because on my phone, I had a list of all the SMWS distilleries, and looking at it, I was just waiting. If I keep hitting these casts directly, they're going to be like, Scott's texting him the answer or something. we're all live, so it was clear you weren't texting me. But that's why I was like, hey, I'm looking up distilleries. Because what would be embarrassing for me would be if let's do something. If I said it's a space side from Ardbeg, people be like, what? Wow, he doesn't even know that's an island, So but trust me, I don't know all the space side distilleries, so I'd be like, ooh, I better double check that, make sure. So I was always looking, okay, I think it's a space side. Shoot, there's like 55 space side distilleries for SMWS. So I was like, I better take a peek, make sure I get that right.
I see Welsh Toro and Kilted Moose tuning in. A couple other names we haven't seen for a while. Of course, that's our fault for just not doing live streams. But David Belcher, a new one, Booze and News with Tim and Dut.
Ooh.
Haven't seen that before. Who are you guys? You guys got a podcast?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Booze and News with Tim and Dut.
Wow. Tim and what?
Dut, D-U-T.
Oh, Dut.
Tim and I suppose it could be Dute. Tim and Dute. Timo. It's Timo and Dute.
Bart is how you love. What? What's Mike saying? Did I miss it? It was rolling on me there too. Bart is how you love.
Oh, Mike Galosi says, Scott, I show you love.
Oh, Bart is how you love.
How you love. Booze and News with Tim and Dute says, just getting into scotch. I only have 4 so far. I've been a bourbon man forever. Good. Whole new world coming at you then. So,
let's see. Multicast, you want to know, is Scott doing his annual Christmas bottle video this year?
I haven't done an annual Christmas bottle video.
Yeah.
Oh, I've had a Christmas bottle, I guess. Actually, it's been a few years even since I had, a Christmas bottle. I've got so much whiskey. I used to buy something special every Christmas. Be like, ooh, here's a new Sherry Bomb, 21-year-old, whatever for Christmas.
Now he just points at all the SMWSs behind him.
I think we both do. I mean, even you. I mean, not even just MWS. But yeah, we got so much whiskey. It's almost and sometimes we end up with a bottle or two here or there that are still sealed that we kind of set back for something. So maybe one of those gets popped. But
yes, yep. No, I agree. I remember when you used to do that. Yeah, old Dan, the former law enforcement man, says I need a shave.
Bart is not within regulations either, I like to point out.
It is above the vermilion when I wax it.
But
it's also all facial hair is supposed to be like 3/4 of an inch, which hasn't been followed since 1972.
I thought it was half inch.
Maybe it's half. Beard. I think it's 3/4.
Beard is supposed to be half inch, isn't it?
I think it's all 3/4. So, but if you looked at all the stashes we've had over the years, that's like a military stash. And they never do that. We'll see.
Booze and News with Tim and Dut says, yes, we have a podcast. Just enjoying your show, LOL. It's Dut as in the first way you said it.
Ooh.
All right. Graham Young says, hi, Bart and Scott. Has been some time. So thrilled to be a new SMWS member here. Excellent. Welcome.
No, I'm not going to show the photo side because I want all of our Patreons to be surprised when it lands in their mailbox. But postcards have gone out to all of our Patreon fans, and the photo is hilarious. So you're going to see it, and we will talk, and I'll show the photo probably in some shows next week that we film. However, I also always order a few more postcards than Patreon fans. So if somebody joins Patreon while supplies last, I will kick you out a card, even if it gets to you a little later than Christmas. So and what we're asking our fans to do is like the one year, I think the first year we had the deal where we were pushing each other on a swing set. Great.
Ooh, yeah.
Great photos. And we had a guy, I actually think he was in Belgium. Maybe it was Sweden. He got the card, was laughing. He put it on his refrigerator, and his wife was like, who or what in the heck is that? Yeah. Oh, there was
2 years ago, Christmas card.
Yep. American Gothic dummy style. So yeah, those have been front and center on several different refrigerators, and it always causes discussion. So you want to get it, you want a magnet right to the front next to the kids' A paper, and then people be like, what? Who are those dudes? Who are those dummies? So we're going to let the Patreon backers get theirs, and then we'll end up showing the photo or the card in all its glory. Ooh, cowbell. What do we get? We got a super chat. Man, that sounded like Christmas past was coming there. I wasn't sure.
I was like, ooh, we need the cowbell. Mamuka 1977 with the super chat.
Woo, it's been a long time. I don't think we've had a super chat in like a year.
We haven't done a live, and well, maybe done one live in the last year or so.
Yeah. Yep. So if you want to make that cowbell, we need more cowbell. You just super chat in, and we'll be going crazy on the cowbell. Yeah, that sounded like Ebenezer Scrooge's ghost from Christmas past was coming in from a distance. I was like, what? Then I realized, ooh, a cowbell moment. Cowbell. Yeah, make that bell go.
I was going to throw an offer out to Booze and News with Tim and Dutt. If you want to invite us on the podcast, you can shoot us out info at the scotchtestdummies@gmail.com.
Yeah.
If we're somewhat the caliber of people you have on your show.
And then we'll talk about your show on our show when we get a chance and point people toward it. That's one thing whiskey tubers like to do is share the love. Like Jason Maschendrum, man, he's blowing up.
Good question from Raster here. He says, I have a question. Serious question. How has Scott's position with SMWS worked out in relation to STD efforts? Does it get in the way of impartial reviews, etc.? Question for both Scott and Bart. I'll answer first. Well, I did tell Bart when I got on with SMWS that I didn't think we could probably review SMWS bottles anymore because we were reviewing those pre my employment position with SMWS.
And what that meant was Scott got a shelf full and I don't get any. I was like, God, I don't like this deal at all, man. This deal's bad deal.
It does. I'll tell you what, though, it does get in the way of the STD reviews just because I'm pretty busy. It's a busy position. We're all pretty busy. And if anything, like today, we should have had a review shot for today. However, that was me and Bart both. Bart was busy with work this past week, and I was busy. We did not have a chance to get together to film reviews. And then as far as impartial, also being a part of, Roy and Ralphie's, the online OSWA's Online Scotch Whiskey Awards. We did get into the nominations, and for independent bottlers, I did not nominate SMWS. I felt there was too much bias there, so I let that one pass. That's my impartiality of it, and somebody else nominated the SMWS, so it still was up for a vote. But I don't know, Bart, how do you answer that question? Your turn.
Yeah, well, it's been interesting. So first of all, I think probably the first deal is you have been filming so often that when you're filming that much, just, there's been times we were like going to film and you're like, man, I've already filmed 2 other whiskey things and I've got to do an outro tonight. And then we'll be like, hey, no problem. We'll just push it and we'll find another date, because that would be, just whiskey. And pretty soon you're like, ugh. And we don't want to get to that point at all. So, and I get that. And then the other thing is I'm still working full time. So like normally we will film recorded shows on Monday, but I have to work 2 back-to-back Mondays. And so that totally disrupted everything. And then it's, of course, holiday season. So like even later today, we're putting all the ornaments on the tree. So I'm like, well, I can't come over today and film. So why don't we do it live? But so how
I got to do? Oh, go ahead. Finish. Sorry.
No, sorry. So how's your whiskey collection has gotten stunning. You guys can see it in the background, and that's literally like 20%, maybe even less. That's like 10%. It's just like, I can't wait until he's like, hey, I ain't got room on the shelf. Do you want 5 of these Pete's? And I'll be like, yeah. And that hasn't happened yet. However, and this is a positive. We've both been doing this long enough. Like I just pulled over because I was going too high proof. This Johnny Walker and Sons, the Celebration blend, it's still 51%. Yeah, but you're at the point where you're like, hey, I don't have room. Why don't you keep it? So a lot of stuff that normally we would have like Greco-Roman wrestled for, you're like, nah, my shelf's full of SMWS, so you can just you can just keep that. And
I gotta go check my sourdough. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. Now here's a fun side note. I'm going to talk about him. He's got like an artisan streak to him, meaning Scott. So while he's working for SMWS, a lot of his stuff keeps him tied during the work week at his domicile. So all of a sudden I'm over there and he's got this like chef's book. It's like the King of Breads or something. I'm like, what are you doing with this? He's like, well, there's some downtime. So I've started doing artisanal sourdough bread. It's got a better glycemic uptake and da-da-da-da-da, science, ba-da-da-da-da. And I was like, you're kidding. He's like,
I don't know what Bart's talking about downtime. I'm busy, always working.
Well, he's busy, but like in between phone calls or setting up a video or getting a lot, there's enough time to go knead some dough, knead some bread. And then all of a sudden, he's got these like sourdough breads that look like they came from look at that.
Fresh out of the oven.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I'm like, dude, are you putting special seeds and giving those little cuts and letting butter? And he's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, dang, that looks like it's fake from Hobby Lobby. Looks like one of them fake breads that you would put up in a display or something. He's like, mm-mm. And then when I go over there, he'll cut off some bread and put some Irish butter on it. And I'm like, God dang, we got to film at Scott's more often because I don't make bread. So that's been another little deal is people at work will say, how's Scott doing? I'm like, he's like a bread chef. And they're like, what? I thought he was doing whiskey. I'm like, yeah, that too. And he's a bread artisanal chef. And they're like, shut up. So, yeah, so it's been good. It's just you're still working full time. So we still have to, like, we have a good schedule down. But sometimes, like if you've got a meeting or something, and it coincides with when we were going to film, obviously we have to pause or push back to another date. What were you going to say there?
I see a few other names now. Richie Z, we haven't seen because we haven't been live for a while. OJ for Hire, Santa cruising. Who was someone else I just saw? First time I've seen Hello, God Bless You. But yeah.
Yeah. Did he bring some to roll call? No. Nope. I haven't seen Scott back in the LEO realm since he left. He walked out, winced, never to return.
Bart tried dropping out and coming back in.
Really?
To switch at somebody. SD3 Gunner says we're messing him up because we're on the wrong sides.
Oh, I didn't even think about it. Well, let me drop myself and I'll come back.
I think if I dropped out and came back in, I'd be in the same spot.
Let me give it a shot.
All right. Now, hopefully, nope, came right back in the same spot. All right. Well, we can't change it up. Sorry about that. Turn your device upside down.
Yeah. I might have to drop all the way out of the studio. Do you want me to try or just keep going?
That might shut, since you're the host, that might shut down the stream.
Yeah, it could. We'll just keep her going.
Have you guys tried Ball Blair 12? We did the 15, and I think that's it. I don't know if I've even seen the 12 in our area.
I don't know how you do that. I know all I could have said was we did the Ball Blair. You're good. See, that's your skill set.
Richie Z's posting our Patreon page on there. Thank you, Richie.
Ooh, there you go.
There's a sniper tuning in.
Ooh, we got a sniper.
He's glad you weren't, because since you're the loser, he's glad you wasn't playing strip poker. Nobody wants to see that.
Well, it would be an experience.
He's like, you can point, just don't laugh.
I know it'd be like, what's he pointing with? Goodness. No, Dan did really good, by the way. With him in that, and when he went up against Rob, he got like 5.5 points. So I thought, I might be able to get him. But he was way better on the ABV. And then with that 2-point range, he was able to pick up 2 points there. I was like, dang it. I had to be sharp. I knew 1 point going into that final.
Well, Yeah, but he said too. We were talking afterwards, and they've been doing an advent calendar and guessing ABVs, and he says he's just been killing Sean with them because he's been just not nailing them, but being fairly close. So,
well, still getting within 2 of the ABV. When you said it was just 2, I thought, he's still not going to be able to close her in, and he picked up 2 points off of that. I was like, dang it, that's good. Because, man.
I would say our average ABV is probably 57, 58.
Really? Yeah. See, when I looked online.
I can tell you that now because you're out of the competition. But I think if you kind of stay the average, those high 50s is probably where the majority are at. But I looked up into the 60s.
I looked at mine, and I looked what was available to buy, and I saw the average was, I figured like 59.60 is what I had. That's why, I've got it right here. I had 61, 60, 62, 64, and it was simply because, I could tell I thought, the difference between 60 and what was one here, 67.9.
Yeah.
Those are both hot as all get out. So, but yeah, he was doing really good on picking that.
Raster wants to know how many SMWS bottles you have. And those are all ones that you've bought, or we had been sent a few different bottles in the past when we were collaborating with SMWS, but you've got at least 20.
21 or 22, up 24, because I got 3 down on the lower tier there too. Yeah. Yeah, I was, we've had some sent to us, and then I was buying their peated early on. And then I bought several of their blending experiments when they started doing that. And then
earlier, someone did ask, what is the SMWS? I need to do a little sales pitch real quick.
Do it.
It's a Scotch Malt Whiskey Society. We're a worldwide private club of Scotch drinkers. Originated in the Scotland back in the 1980s. It's grown 35,000 plus members worldwide, around 6,000 in the United States now. So go to smwsa.com. That's if you're in America, smwsa for America.com.
Right.
If you just go to smws.com, it'll take you to the UK website. So it depends on where you're at, but there's a branch in Canada, Japan, Australia,
Germany. Germany has one. Yeah, I think they have one in Berlin, if I remember right.
Maybe.
Neil Patrick Harris is a member. So.
Eric Waite says SMWS stands for Scotch Malt Whiskey Santa.
Oh. Well, and then their big claim to fame, which is why I liked them right off the bat, was everything's cast strength, not counting the blended bottles that come out. So you get these cast strength whiskeys, and they come from all these different distilleries, and they don't tell you the distillery. There's a code and you can figure it out. But the distillery may taste like something you would recognize. In the very first challenge, I was able to pick out a Kalila, but it may taste like nothing you've ever had from that distillery. And so because you're getting it at high proof, you might be getting some weird off barrel that's been sitting, and then you guys, SMWS, will even recast something yourselves, right? Don't you do some recasting even at the SMWS warehouse?
Yep.
So you end up with these extremely unique bottles that the sad part is you'll never be able to get them again if you like them and they're sold out. This is the one thing we used to talk about this before you worked for them. If I was crazy rich, I would probably order 3 of every single one. I would just have it on like auto. This is what it's going to do. And I would have some separate house that would just have my own whiskey vault. And then if I like something, I might, but I would have 3 of everything no matter what. But if I really tried something, then I might say, oh, send me a case, It would be something stupid like that, though, where I would have a house full of SMWS. Your shelf, I'd be like, that's puny. I would talk like Arnold.
I took my Marcho was asking why wear hats at home. I still had morning. I haven't fixed my hair since. It actually doesn't look that bad. They're probably because I had the hat on. But
Right.
I still had my bed head.
Oh man, yeah, my hair's falling out, so I got to catch it so it doesn't end up in the glass.
Glue it back on.
Yeah. So, and this is what I was. Well, I was wearing a different shirt, but I was wearing this. This is my lucky hat that I did not win wearing my lucky hat. So, but I've been known to wear a hat. I like wearing hats. So, to hats.
Big Dog says, Scott, you have access to the complete SMWS historical database, right? You can give us an average ABV, mode, median, standard deviation too.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, it's not in that type of. I don't have access to like the spreadsheet of that. I've got like individual pages, product pages. I'd have to go through and calculate all that.
Got it. You kind of, I'm guessing here because you haven't shared anything with me, but I'm guessing like there's meetings probably October, November saying, hey, this is going to be kind of a like maybe a sales marketing pitch we do in 2023, right? You get little, or you'll be told like, I'm guessing again, hey, we're going to end up with at least 20 bottles in every outturn in 2023. Would you know that kind of stuff? And if you can't talk about it, then just say, shut up.
No, I don't know if I've got the full list for 2023. I do have an advanced list, but it's probably, I haven't even looked. It's probably only going up through May right now, maybe June of 2023. But I mean, they'll get it posted, pushed out, the products and stuff. But sales, Tom is in charge of marketing and kind of coming up with a lot of those. So they kind of come and go, and could be something that's in the works for a while, or it might just be something that pops up we've done in the past. And
now you haven't been, I know you've gone to Chicago and New York for some tasting events, but with Scotland kind of in a closed down mode with the pestilence, we'll just say. I don't want to get demonetized for saying the other word. Yeah, right. Nope. Are you going to be flown over to Scotland if they told you in 2023?
I don't, at this point, I don't know. So
okay, I'm just asking these questions because I don't know either. You haven't said anything. But I figure they would have you over there sooner or later, and maybe with the pestilence waning, maybe that you would be traveling. So
I think they've opened up back over there. But Sabrina asked a little bit ago, do you plan to come back to Scotland in 2023? Bart and I don't have any plans right now for any traveling. So Bart's complicated to travel with. Let's just put it that way.
I'm big. Yeah.
6'6", doesn't fit on a plane. Doesn't
6'6", 250. Basically, I turned Scott into my pillow.
He doesn't like to drive. He doesn't like to fly. Doesn't
Too
like
big.
to ride. Doesn't want to take a skateboard.
No.
Doesn't want the scooters.
Right.
So
about the only thing I'd be willing to get on. I want to get on one of those spaceships from SpaceX. So put me on the moon, baby, where the gravity is light.
Yeah, they plan for 6'6" travelers there. I guess it's like a Volkswagen.
They're gonna have a special capsule.
You're all cramped up in there, knees up in your chest.
Yeah, I'll be getting ready to go to the moon, and I'll be in there complaining like, "This is very."
You're like, scoot over. I need some room. And
this is uncomfortable.
I'm like, I don't have no room either.
Right. Yeah, I always remember as a kid, like a high school kid, I loved the 1963 split-windowed Corvette. Loved it. It was my favorite car. And my friend's dad had one. He bought one to fix up, but it was a convertible. And he got it to a point, it wasn't done yet, but he said, hey, told this kid, have your friend come over. I don't think he's going to like this car. And I was like, so I came over and I go, why wouldn't I like it? I love that car. He goes, mine's a convertible and the interior's done. Come down to the garage. I hadn't seen it. He goes, to have a seat. I got in it. I would need goggles and a face mask in order to. Literally, my head was above the windshield, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. He goes, yeah, and I don't even know if you can reach the brake with it's so tight for your knees. And I was like dismayed. And I go, well, is the split window, hard top? And he said, no, you won't fit. I'm telling you, you'd have to have the convertible with goggles. I'd be driving down catching flies, and you'd be like, what an idiot. Look at that guy.
All right. I'm going to have to leave. I don't know if you want to stay on for a little while or not, but
No, I'll go too. I wasn't sure what you were going to say there. You said, I'm going to have to and I was like, whoa, man, keep that stuff private.
Shut her down.
But we got 64 people on.
Yeah.
Well, let's do a little bit of a wrap up. And I know I've got to do some stuff. I've got to trim the tree here. And it's great. We've talked about doing some more lives. I could see us maybe doing this on occasion just to freshen things up a little bit too. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
it's usually not, Bart, I'm just going to point out, it's usually not me that's the problem.
What are you talking about?
Finding the time to do lives and things. It's usually you that's more constrained. You've got more commitments than I do.
Kind of, but we used to do Monday lives like all the time.
Yeah.
And those are gone, but that had nothing to do with me.
Yeah. Outside of that, Friday, Saturday, Sundays.
Well, yeah, when I'm literally
Wednesdays.
Right. When I'm on the job toting a gun, I can't pop in on a live and sip whiskey yet. But Mondays, we used to do the impromptu, and those are dead and gone, baby. Dead and gone.
Yep.
So, but we shall see. We shall see. Either way, still good stuff. I like doing this, and you're right. I do have a couple little kids still at home. Not little anymore. One of them's about as big as me.
Yeah, I mean, you still got just family commitments on the weekend, school things, church things, 4-H things, state things, work things.
True. I'm probably in trouble right now.
I'm like, I don't know. I don't have anything to do today.
Oh yeah, yours is this bling 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 bling. Oh, artisanal bread is done. Very good point. Very good point. Adios, muchachos, gents from Santa Cruz, and I think that is good. Adios. See you guys later. It's great live with 65 folks in. We'll make sure we get back. Ooh, that was terrible. And you know how to salute, brother. You know how to salute.
I know that's the.
Yeah, I don't know what you were doing.
In the movies. They're like.
Yeah, or the British version. Nothing against the Brits, but yeah, Yeah, there's the Air Force one where they got the hand bent at the 90 degree. There you go. Scott just nailed it. You can tell he was a 72 Lima. I don't know what your MOS was. What was it?
39 Echo.
Oh, it's close. It's one of them weird, obscure ones. All right. Scotch it. You Scotch gods.
Sláinte. Dummies. Thanks to everybody tuned in.
Yeah, thanks, man. Packed house. Thank you. We shall return. We shall return. As the wheels slowly wind down and I try to click the button with my big fingers. See